What's going on? What's going on, people? What it do? It's the God HG is to the streets. You see me out here, I'm bogey on the hill. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I came on here. Just like a public, public service announcement. As black people, we got to do better when it comes to handling business. I think a lot of us, we're used to street business. A lot of us, shit, even when I was younger, sold drugs, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of us really ain't go to business class, don't know about ethics, being ethical when it comes to business. A lot of us have our own perception of how business is supposed to be handled. But there are certain guidelines that need to be followed in business to make sure business is handled properly and efficiently, and both parties are compensated, or both parties' interests are taken care of during the business transactions. I ain't gonna say a lot of black people, but a nice amount of black people don't know how to handle business. They provide a service, but they don't fall through with the service. They fall short of the service, and then in certain situations they won't deliver on the service, but they still want full compensation. But that's not how business goes. When it comes to business, the aim is for both parties to be mutually satisfied. Now, and then there's a code of ethics that needs to be followed during business. Now, me, I've taken my share of business courses, so to a degree, I have knowledge about this. Not saying I'm the most business savvy, but I do understand business ethics. So, when services are rendered, someone expects compensation for that service. Cool. Y'all come to an agreement. Cool. But if anywhere during that process of services rendered, if there's any type of lapse in the service, if communication is broken during the course of the service, then both parties have to come back to the table and either renegotiate or at least reaffirm the services that were supposed to be rendered during the process of business that y'all both agreed on in the initial beginnings of doing business. I don't care what happens on either side. If there's any type of malfunction during the process of business, ethically, both parties are obligated to come back to the table to renegotiate or reaffirm what was supposed to be done during this process of business that these two parties have together. One fuck up. Once you break communication, that's like breaching contract. You can't break communication in the middle of a business dwelling, in the middle of a business situation. You can't break communication. If you're satisfied, if your interests are being met, and the person that you're doing business with interests aren't being met, then you have to address, okay, why is this person's interest not being met? I've never handled business with anybody, and I've handled business with a lot of shady people and people that don't do what they're supposed to do, but they still feel entitled. They still feel entitled to what they feel they should get, even though they didn't do what they were supposed to do, or they didn't do what they were supposed to do correctly. And when you come to address that matter, no one wants to address it. They just want what they want. That's unethical. You know what I'm saying? That's unethical. And that's not good business. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes to communication during business, healthy business is both entities, both parties communicating with each other in a timely manner communicating with each other effectively, whether it be email, whether it be text messages, whether it be vocal. Communication has to always be established. You cannot break communication midway through a business deal and expect proper compensation when you stop communicating to address the other party's issues. That's just a no-no. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what type of business a lot of people is used to having or used to running, but you know, that's just a no-no. You know, you just can't go cold turkey in the middle of a business deal. You know what I'm saying? I don't care like what the situation is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can't make up in your mind, oh, I'm done. I did this, but I don't got nothing else to do with that and that. No, that ain't how it works. You have to wait until the full process is over before you stop communication. Once the deal is complete from A to Z, then you could break communication because the process has been ended and both parties was mutually satisfied. So, communication is key. Communication is key when dealing with business. Now services. If you're delivering a service and there's any type of hiccup in the service, whether it be your fault or whether it be the other party's fault, that doesn't even matter. The problem is that the hiccup needs to be addressed, and both parties need to be aware of the hiccup and talk about the hiccup so the hiccup could be properly handled and both parties could still have a mutual satisfaction with the business deal that was handled. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter where the hiccup come up from. If the person was providing a service and they messed up somewhere down the line, then that the other party needs to bring it to their attention if they don't know about it, so it could be rectified. You see what I'm saying? This is communication regarding services. So in between that, if that happens in that process, within that process, if the if the person providing the service stops communication, that's breach of contract. That's breach of contract. You know what I'm saying? People get sued for that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what the issue is. I don't care what the issue is. You cannot stop communication in the middle of a deal. Also, well, you know what? I'm gonna leave it right there for right now. I'm gonna come back with this issue. Peace.